You've seen it before. You know exactly what happens. You know the lines, the scenes, the ending. And yet, you press play again. Maybe it's that one comfort show you go back to every winter. Maybe it's a movie you've watched so many times you could recite it, and every single time people around you say the same thing. Why are you watching that again? You already know what happens. But here's the thing, that's actually the whole point. Rewatching something you already know isn't a waste of time. It's not laziness. And it's definitely not a sign that you have nothing better to do. Science actually backs this up, and the reasons are more interesting than you'd think. At the heart of this habit lies a psychological phenomenon known as cognitive fluency, the ease with which our brain processes incoming information. Human brains are structurally designed to conserve energy wherever possible. When you introduce a completely new narrative, your mind is constantly on guard, analyzing facial expressions, decoding complex subplots, and assessing hidden structural dangers. But when you revisit a familiar world, your brain experiences zero cognitive friction. This lack of resistance triggers the mere exposure effect, a psychological mechanism where repeated exposure to a stable stimulus automatically increases our preference and affection for it. You aren't just loving the show, your brain is actively rejoicing in the rare absence of mental labor. When we watch something for the first time, our brain is working hard. It's trying to follow the story, predict what comes next, process new information. It's a lot. But when we rewatch, that mental load disappears, and suddenly we can actually relax. Our nervous system calms down. We're not stressed about the outcome. We know the outcome. We're just there, present, safe. Psychologists call this narrative transportation. And the more familiar the story, the deeper we go into it. It feels like visiting a place you love. The streets are familiar. You don't need a map. And that comfort is exactly why you wanted to go back. Which movie or show have you watched more than 3 times? Drop it in the comments. I have a theory about what your answer says about you. This connection goes even deeper into what sociologists call parasocial relationships. One-sided emotional bonds where we invest energy, time, and genuine care into characters who cannot give it back. While that might sound isolating at first glance, it actually serves a crucial evolutionary purpose for our minds. In a real-world social interaction, there is always a constant, lingering risk of rejection, betrayal, or sudden emotional conflict. Fictional characters, however, are perfectly safe. They will never let you down. They will never change their mind about you. For a mind that feels socially exhausted or emotionally guarded, returning to these digital companions provides the exact warmth of a tight-knit friendship group, completely free from the exhausting tax of real-life social maintenance. There's also something interesting about emotions here. When you rewatch a scene that made you cry the first time, you usually cry again. Maybe even harder. That might seem strange. You knew it was coming. But your brain doesn't just store facts, it stores feelings. And revisiting those feelings, especially controlled ones, the ones where you know everything will be okay in the end, is actually really healthy. It's a safe way to feel something deeply. Some people rewatch things when life gets overwhelming, when there's too much noise, too many decisions, too much uncertainty. Familiar content becomes a kind of anchor. It's predictable in a world that often isn't. And there's genuine psychological comfort in that. Not escapism, not avoidance, just grounding. Think about the sheer volume of micro choices you are forced to make every single day. From massive career decisions to what you should eat for dinner, your brain is under a constant state of decision fatigue. This modern overload slowly drains your executive functioning capabilities. When you choose to rewatch a comfort show, you are effectively taking back control by surrendering control. You're choosing to opt out of the unpredictable lottery of life for a brief period. You know exactly when the joke will land, exactly when the conflict will resolve, and exactly how the story ends. This absolute predictability acts as an emotional reset button, giving your overstimulated nervous system a chance to catch its breath and rebuild its psychological reserves. And then there's this. The more you watch something, the more you notice. That detail in the background in episode 2 that foreshadows everything in the finale. The expression on a character's face that you missed the first 4 times. Rewatching makes you feel like a better observer, like you're in on something. And that feels good. This sense of narrative mastery rewards the brain's internal systems with a subtle hit of dopamine. When you spot a hidden detail or accurately anticipate a specific line of dialogue, your subconscious validates its own intelligence. It creates a reassuring feeling of psychological competence. In a chaotic life, where we so often feel helpless or completely out of the loop, being the ultimate insider in a fictional universe restores a microdose of personal confidence. You are no longer just a passive consumer staring blindly at a screen. You are an omniscient observer who holds all the secrets of that world. This deep mental alignment turns a simple television show into an active, comforting ritual of self-validation. But here's what I find most fascinating. The things we rewatch are rarely random. They tend to mirror something about where we are in life. People going through hard times often reach for stories about survival or redemption. People who are lonely often gravitate toward shows with tight-knit friend groups. People processing grief sometimes rewatch movies where someone loses someone but keeps going. There's one more thing worth talking about, and this one might surprise you. The characters we keep coming back to often say something about who we are or who we want to be. Think about it. If you rewatch a show where the main character is quietly strong, deeply loyal, a little misunderstood, there's a good chance some part of you sees yourself in them. Or maybe you don't see yourself, but you want to. Psychologists call this narrative identity, the idea that we build our sense of self through the stories we connect with. The ones we return to again and again aren't just entertainment, they're mirrors. And sometimes, pressing play one more time is less about the story itself, and more about checking in with a version of yourself that loves it. We use stories to understand ourselves, and sometimes we need to hear the same story more than once before it really lands. Because as time passes, the story doesn't change, but you do. When you rewatch a movie from 5 years ago, you are subtly measuring your own emotional growth against a static benchmark. The lines are identical, the music is the same, but the way they hit your soul is entirely different. A scene you used to laugh at might now make you weep, because you have experienced loss in the years between. By revisiting these emotional landmarks, you aren't just checking in on the characters, you are conducting a quiet, subconscious audit of your own evolution. It is a beautiful, private way to realize how much you have survived and how much you have grown. So the next time someone judges you for watching The Office for the 5th time, or putting on that same movie on a Sunday night when you know every single word, you're not being lazy. You're regulating. You're processing. You're finding comfort in something predictable in a very unpredictable world. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that. Now tell me, what's your comfort rewatch? The one you always go back to? Drop it below. No judgment here.